I think in Mexico I started the preface after all the practice weekend clips, which is not a good idea. So I'm doing it beforehand this time. 5 to go. Episode 100 today. Always know I'd get there because maths. Yeah, should be finished by next week. Then F123 the week after. I'm actually big. I'm not getting excited yet, but I probably will as soon as I finish this one. Let's go. So now that preface is out of the way, let's get into the weekend clips. Here we are at the menu before going into the sessions. We are looking at doing practice first. Click A, straight into practice. Nice little scenery cutscene before we get into the car. Have a nice look at Alpha, even though we're equal cars. And again, no practice for the newly crowned champion. So we're going to restart and get straight back into proper practice. We still need it. And then the second weekend clip during practice, when we were finally allowed to do so. On our final lap on the hards. Next lap mark. Got the Haas behind us. We're going to let him. He's just let us go as we come across the line to finish our lap, and we're going to be stupid and stop on the racing line. And so the Haas collides into the back of us. There goes a Ferrari, and we spun round. Totally my fault. Nothing the Haas could have done there. Well, I mean, it could have avoided me, but it shouldn't have to avoid me. So yeah, very stupid from me there. Sorry. So here we go in qualifying now. Qualifying 1 started out okay. There was 4 of us within a tenth of each other. Lando was P1 with the purple sector 1. We were P2 with purple sector 2. Only 500ths away from Lando, and Max in P3 with purple sector 3, along with Hamilton 900ths away from us. And when I mean 900ths, I mean 900ths and 3000ths both. They both set at 110.122. How did it finish though? Well, Charles put himself at P1, 1/10 ahead of Hamilton, who went a few milliseconds ahead of Max. We dropped 5th, but we got through, and it's completely fine. No one off shock got knocked out, although Perez almost did. Q2, we did a better lap, and we went P1 with a 1 minute 9.5, all 3 purple sectors. Max in 2nd, Charles in 3rd, Lewis all the way down in P7. No Fernando to be seen in top 10. The presence of Perez and Sainz is there though, and no Alpines, although because Ocon got knocked out. And Alonso, well, he got through in P9, only just though. While we maintained P1, Max in P2, Lewis P3, and Charles in P4. The reason I sound a bit dull is because it is 11:15. I should not be doing this. So anyway, all of us are through to Q3. Let's see how we perform. A little bit worse. Only 2 purple sectors, sector 2 and sector 3. Max in P2 had purple sector 1, 17 milliseconds behind us. Charles put himself P3, 2/10 behind us. Hamilton P6, a second behind us. and then Perez on Science, if you care about them, in P4 and 5. And Alonso P10. How to finish? Well, we went out for a second lap. Only improved by 2 tenths. Max stayed P2, did not improve at all. And to be honest, I don't think any of the AI did, because they all seem to stay in their positions. So even if they did improve, it did not matter. So, we got the sprint, final one of the season. Enjoy Brazil. It should go well. There might be a bit of rain as well.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Carlos Sainz, and Hamilton. Gasly, Norris, Joe, and Fernando Alonso. Stroll, Bottas, Yuki Tsunoda and Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Ocon, Daniel Ricciardo and Sebastian Vettel. Latifi and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
So here we are on the grid. It's going to be a simple strategy, mediums all the way. Let's have a look at the rain though.
I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Looks to be coming in at about 15, between 10 and 15 minutes. Let's see what the sus can do. They could go all the way to the end. Don't need them to. Need them to go between 10 and 15 minutes. But is it worth the risk in case it does not rain? We could build a gap in case, but could be too risky if the rain comes and it's not heavy enough. So we are going to resort back to the mediums. Take some fuel out and leave it at that. Let's go. Not quite. Little adjustments on the fuel. Okay, let's go. Here we are on the formation lap, the third clip of the week. And on the formation lap, warming up our tyres. I know there's a better way of doing it, but this is how I do it. I need a better way, because it doesn't actually work. So we're getting to the grid. Trying to wheel spin as much as we can to heat up the rears. The fronts I don't mind, it's the rears. They're one reason why I think I get slow starts. So, pull up to the grid. Get some more wheel spins in. And almost spin it just before my grid slot. I wonder what would happen if everyone did it in real life. Oh, that's wonderful, isn't it? Huh, looks like you can't hear my fan. Okay. Brazil sprint. Episode 100, let's make it a good one. A little bit close in qualifying, however, should be fine in the sprint. Let's see how we did. So I'm not going to be able to fully hear because I've got my fan on in the background. So I'm just going to have to hope there's nothing to do with sound. So, start of race, we lost out to Perez. However, we got back ahead of him through turn 2, and it put us P2 behind Max, who also got us off the line. Yeah, that was quite simple. On board with Charles, both Red Bulls making up a single position. Got a similar start to Charles, however, we just need to work on those starts. We are really poor at the moment. I've heard next year's game is much better though. So yeah, you kind of just take a normal line, we're not squeezing Perez. Yes, we give no space onto the curb, but Perez had kind of backed out and he wasn't going for that anyway. So we're up into P. That will stay in P2. However, Ocon had a little fun with Tsunoda and Vettel, I believe, and got themselves a warning each. Ocon got his first. See if I can find out where. There it is. So Ocon gets a warning for Tsunoda hitting him. What does Vettel do? Vettel goes into the back of Albon. Latifi. All kicking off on lap 1. And then it all kicked off on lap 2. Because the forecasted rain that was going to come about 15 minutes into the race came 2 minutes into the race. And what do you know? I should have gone soft tyres because the rain's here. Very unlucky with the strategy there. I knew it was going to rain. Whether it would have been enough to change tyres onto inters, I wouldn't have known, but I think softs would have been better in this circumstance anyway. And we can't catch up to Max anyway, so it would have been nice if we were just on the softs to close in. So, next up, I believe, lap 7. DRS gets disabled. And I take that to mean wet tyres got disabled here. And so I take that to mean, right, we need inters. So we're going to come in at the end of this lap off these medium tyres onto a set of inters. Hopefully we'll be able to undercut everyone. I crossed the white line, that should be a penalty. Maybe just a warning, I'm not sure. So into the pit lane we go. Purple turn in. How's the release? It's good. And we're back into the fast lane. Where's this going to put us on circuit? Well, it's going to put us P19. Tsunoda already boxed due to his front wing damage that he got on lap 1. Let's see if we can close in on anybody. If we can't close in on Latifi, then we know we've gone onto the wrong tyres. So hopefully we can do that, and hopefully we can jump Verstappen, but who knows, maybe a bit too early. The rain has been going for about 6 laps. Probably should have waited a lap later. But we closed in the second Latifi, but they didn't come in. So yeah, we should have gone 1 lap later. As now we're 2 seconds behind Latifi were. And there's Max on the left in the pit lane. We were 2 seconds, I think, when we entered the pit lane behind him. And we're roughly 2 seconds behind him still. However, that was able to close down due to Max catching up to a one man of the name Sebastian Vettel. Little bit of wobbles, 1 second, less than a second, overtake, and we're now behind him and up into P2. There was a warning for me on that lap, I want to find out where. There. Okay. So, lap 11, looking good for us. Lap 12, Nicholas Latifi did something. Still feels... I don't... Oh, whoa. What the hell happened here? Yellow flag. Oh, Albon's gone round. A little bit too much throttle. Everyone's avoided him. Oh, he's backed up into the Astons. And Vettel's backing up. And Latifi doesn't see and crashes into the back of him. So there goes Latifi. That won't count as a engine failure, so I don't have to worry. However, kind of do, since Max is still closing in on points. So, lap 12, Sebastian Vettel got a warning for that, and what would you know, the safety car got cooled. So, yeah, this is going to be trouble for us, because we are not going to be able to get a good restart. So, we're just going to have to hope and pray that we don't lose any more positions. However, safety car comes. We catch up safety car lap 13. Safety car comes in lap 14. Just a normal procedure. Catch safety car. Safety car deployed. Catch safety car. The next lap. Then the safety car comes in at the end of the next lap, providing all the cars have caught up, which is probably why the second safety car went on a little bit longer in Mexico. Might be a little bit of a brake check there from Max, I'll have to check. Did pretty much the same thing as Japan, however we're at lower speed, so it might be fine. And it's about this time I get an radio message from Mark saying to box lap 15. Should have followed it, but instead I came in lap 14. And where's the Merc engine? Where's the Merc garage? Well, let me show you. Right at the front. And hello, balls. Where am I? Hello, Perez. How you do? What are you doing? Got blocked. So I definitely weren't able to jump Max. Oh, and look at that. An Alpine jumps us. And what would you know? So does Charles. So we've already lost 2 positions. And what would you know? Max is effectively P1. Tsunoda, Albon, Vettel, Magnussen, Zhou, Norris, and Sainz are yet to box. Where were they? Well, look at that. Carlos was P9. Let's just wait a lap, shall we? Should probably go on board Carlos. So, Carlos is going to come in at the end of the next lap. Just remember, he was P9. Where's he going to come out? So, on the back straight, going to come in for a box now. Onto the wet tyres, like everyone else has. 9 laps to go. Well, 8 laps on wets for Sainz. No, because he needs to do lap 16. 9 laps for Sainz. Into the box. Same with Lando, same with Zhou, same with Magnussen, Vettel, Albon skipped us. So anyway, we're on board with Sainz. Gonna go on board with Max. Sainz is still P1. Max has just gone ahead. Charles just gone ahead. Alonso still behind Norris, but has just gone ahead. Here's me. There's Alonso. Oh look, Sainz, Norris. Sainz has gained 5 positions. We tried to overtake Lando, didn't work, went off the circuit. Tried to go back behind him, lost grip, almost spun it, and had to settle for P6. So, these 2 fellas have jumped 5 positions. Now, obviously we can't jump 5 positions because we were P2. If I followed these guys, I would have been leading these guys, and I would definitely have come out ahead of Max. That's what happens when you don't think properly. Did Max even get held? Yes, he did. By a lot of people. Cool. That's why you should follow your engineer's instructions. So anyway, something happened to Perez on lap 15. Where is he? There he is. Oh yeah, he obviously got held by Max. I also screwed over Lewis, sorry about that, Lewis. Oh, a little bit. Oh, he's out. He's out of here. Honda engine not going to affect us in the probability to retire from any of the races. So that's good. There he is. He's out of here. I wish everyone else was. It's the wrong Red Bull. Wrong Red Bull. I have to go to lap 23 now with Sebastian Vettel. Where are you? 23. I think I know what's going to happen here. Because Kevin Magnussen's also got a... oh! Kevin Magnussen also got something on the race director. Lap 23. Not terminal damage. Mechanical failure. Seb goes into him. So does Kevin, but Kevin goes into him. So they're both screwed. Magnussen out of race. Vettel with front wing damage. So you can't see what happened. I don't know why, that's not important. Anyway, yeah, Seb just goes left. Right there. But Magnussen goes right. If they were on the other side of the circuit, Seb was on the left and Kevin was on the right, that would have been fine. But no, they got damage and Seb gets a warning for contact. Last but not least, we have to go to me. I've got a train of about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars. Should have used position, to be honest. 11th, I'm 6th. So -5, yeah, 6 cars. So we've lost 3-4 seconds to Lando by this stage, and we're only going to lose a little bit more. However, lap 24 we had one more thing before the end of the sprint. A second warning. At least it weren't a penalty, that would have been horrendous. That would have put us at least here. Maybe here. So anyway. That was a horrid sprint for episode 100. It's always the anniversary kinda ones that are always the worst. So there we are, P6. Max won the sprint. I was hoping there was someone ahead of him, but no, there was not. Max gains 5 points on us. I know it don't matter much, but if he keeps doing that, we may only be allowed to retire once and get away with still winning the championship. So yeah, we need to sort that out. Anyway, we got the race next. I'm not going to hold you for long. Let's go straight to the race. Once I am able to turn on my phone to end the voice recording. 15 minutes, that's not too bad, but I'd rather 10. See you in the race.
The day we've all been waiting for is finally here. It's race day. The Brazilian Grand Prix has hosted some of the most important races in Formula One history. And I've got a feeling today will be no different. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. Two very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao into one of the two DRS zones will be key to any overtaking prospects today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Lando Norris, and Russell, Gasly, Bottas, Joe, and Mick Schumacher, Stroll, Ricciardo, Alex Albon, and Hamilton, Ocon, Tsunoda, Sebastian Vettel, and Kevin Magnussen, Perez, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And I'm delighted, as always, to introduce Anthony Davidson, who'll be taking you through all the action alongside me today. Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen?
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? A couple of favourites for the win then, but who comes out on top doesn't really matter as long as they give us an entertaining show en route to the checkered flag. And we want to see fair fighting, of course, out there on the track. Let's hope the stewards don't have to get involved too much today.
Pretty sure I mentioned it in Austria because, well, I was doing the Austrian voiceover.
Okay, here we go. I know what
As
you can do.
the
Don't let me
weekend
down.
I was doing this, so I'll say it again. Why does the game not have any code to tell the commentators that it's a sprint weekend? And so the person on pole on Sunday, not in real life anymore, did not actually set a quali lap to get pole. They won the sprint. Anyway, after some rain in the sprint, let's see if we can optimize our strategy and get ourselves a victory from P6. Shouldn't be too difficult, just as long as we get into the lead. Looks like some rain just between 1 hour and 90, so that looks good. Going for a medium hard, very simple. Alternate strategy is a soft, medium, soft. Not quicker though. So we're going to go for the medium hard. Let's go do this. We will win. Welcome to the Brazilian GP. The fan's on in the background again, but you probably won't hear it again. It's on a lower setting this time. Start 6th. Should really, if I followed Mark's instructions, probably should have been first. But hey, I'm sure we'll get past these guys easy. We've got a dry stint at the beginning, rain about 60 to 90 minutes in, so that'll be interesting. But we will be first by that point. And let's show you what actually happened then. I thought I pressed A. Five red lights are out, and we've already lost a position to Pierre and Bottas. There goes Ricciardo down our inside. We're on the inside of Bottas. Are you going to be able to stay ahead of Bottas? Yes, only just. A little bit of corner cut from Bottas, I think. And we're P8, having to defend a little bit from Schumacher. But heading into Sector 2, we stay P8. So, on board with Bottas to see what happened. Ricciardo's all the way in 12th. So, Bottas gets past us very easy. and we just can't do anything. Ricardo, I lock up a little bit, but somewhat that gives Ricardo the invitation. I don't know. That's an Alex Gillen dive bomb, if you ask me. Completely unnecessary, and very risky. Shouldn't have done it, if you ask me. Obviously, I'm going to say that because it was on me, but you shouldn't do that. Like, look, you got Schumacher, you got me and the Alphas, and then you got Gasly. He's dive bombed 4 people. Well, he's already ahead of Schumacher. He was alongside Joe. I'm already 2 wide with Bottas. And he's like, you know what? That's my spot. And he even tries overtaking Gasly. Little bit of contact, both got a collision warning. So, yeah, that's that. Lap 2, we had to go. Down the outside. Should have remembered from Championship 59 that is not going to work. And it didn't. You had to settle for P8. However, if you don't, at first you don't succeed, try again. So that's what we're going to do. Not on lap 3 or 4 though. Lap 5, got DRS, finally able to go down the inside of Ricardo. At turn 1 we're slightly ahead, turn 2 what about here? Well, he's slightly ahead, but backs out, and through turn 3 we're up into P7. And with DRS able to go chase after Gasly. So, eventually 3 laps later, we're where we wanted to be. Hopefully that don't affect anything later in the race. Lap 6, nothing on Gasly. Lap 7, however, we tried to go around the outside. Are we more ahead than we were with Ricardo? No, not quite. Once again, another failed overtake. 4 laps completely wasted. So, are we going to try it again on lap 8? Yes, we are. Down the inside, even before the turn. Using plenty of ERS way before even the DRS line this time. And we're up into P6, back where we started the race. So let's see, we've got all the soft runners behind us now. Let's see if we can make any progress on the medium runners on the same tyre. Nothing on lap 9. How about lap 10? Going to try and go around the outside of Lando. This haven't previously worked. Is it going to try this time? We're alongside enough still. And through turn 2 we were able to get the position. A little bit hard to see what happened there, seeing as we were on the outside, so we're going to go for an onboard. A very quick one. Wrong side. So, down the outside, we just stay with wheel to wheel with the rear wheel, and that's what's enabled us to take the position into turn 2. If turn 2 wasn't there, and it's kind of just like a long curve, around the outside moves would work, but you have to make sure that you've got plenty of overspeed to make it work on the outside. So, Carlos Sainz, we're not going to go down his outside, we're going to go down the inside, and we're up into P4. Now, I've just realised I've missed something with Carlos and Lando, some sketchy moves. Sainz tries to fight back, doesn't work, and we're staying P4. So, what was the sketchy move from Lando? Well, you might say it's I say it's sketchy, you might not. Gonna go look for the inside. Okay, it's not sketchy, never mind. So we tried to go down the inside, but Lando closes the door. It looks a lot worse from my point of view. Going towards the inside. Was it the... No. I'm really confused now. It mustn't have been with Lando. Okay. Lando was fine. Science, however, not so much. I think. So, not close. No. What am I talking? Oh, wrong lap. That's fine. So, science on the outside, space on the inside. We're going to go for it. However, science goes all the way to the white line. No space given. And we have to force the space almost. Down the inside. Got the overtake done. To me, that is very sketchy. I know it's the racing line, but you can see me coming. Why on earth? No. Right. You can just see where those two white lines meet. Nah, he's not taking the racing line. Yeah. He has gone off to cover me. I mean, you can tell because he's gone over the white line. That is very dangerous from science. He opens up the space again anyway, so we get back. Still, we get ahead anyway, but very dangerous from science if you ask me. Lap 13, nothing there. Lap 14, nothing. Lap 15, down the inside of Alonso. Like with science, no space, but we took the space when he moved over the racing line. Down the inside, and we're up into P3 podium. Let's go after Max. I thought 3 people were a bit sketchy, but no, it's only 2. Fernando doing exactly what we did with science, and he does the exact same as science. This time I have to kind of wait for the space to appear. And we had a little bit of contact. Now, I'm nowhere near being alongside. Yes. But come on. You shouldn't be doing stuff like that. It's dangerous. It's why the Force India, it's why Force India and Racing Point with Perez and Ocon didn't get along, because he almost caused a crash. Anyway, we're fine, and we head to lap 17, where we go down the inside of Max. Max is a lot cleaner than Fernando and Sainz, and we're up into P2. Able to go chase after Charles now, which should be a very easy overtake. He don't have DRS, and so we shouldn't lose much time with him. It's just a question of whether we can see, even Max defends, but Max is fine because I'm not near him. Have to lift off a little bit, make sure there's space there. Want to go down the inside because I know we wouldn't get the overspeed in time to go around the outside. Anyway, it's just a question if we can get out of DRS change from Leclerc once we overtake him. No overtake, lap 18, charging up the ERS. Lap 19, down the outside, just staying alongside and ahead into turn 2. Charles will get the DRS. Gonna have to make sure that we defend. We go all the way to the inside, but he doesn't do anything. No overspeed for him, and we get P1. We get P1. Very good, if you ask me. Yes, Charles defends again, like Max, but it's fine because we weren't anywhere near him. Charles kind of just backs out of turn 1. Not sure why. I guess he wanted to DRS, but I don't think that's coded into the AI. So anyway, not quite broken out of DRS by lap 21. However, on lap 21, we did appear on the race director sheet for a corner cut of turn 3-2. Very avoidable, should not have happened. Out of DRS range by lap 22 now, and lap 23, another corner cut. Not quite turn 1. How about turn 2? No. Probably extension of turn 4. No, okay. Oh, I have no idea where this one is then. Oh, come on. That one's avoidable. So anyway, 2 warnings in the space of 3 laps. Next we're going to go to lap 31 when we make our pit stop. 3 seconds, 4 seconds, no enough to Charles at this point. Very good pace on the mediums. Time to boot him out though. Going to go onto the hards to finish this race. Simple 1 stop really. Not able to do a 2 stop because we don't have enough mediums, and if you do it with softs it's not quick enough. So into the pit lane we go. Make sure we don't speed. However, we did, and we got a 5-second penalty that we served at the end of the race. Hopefully it won't cost us anything. Hard tyres on, very good release with a purple turn in, and we're back into the fast lane, P6 at the moment. Pit stop gap to Joe in 7th means that we will be 6th when we come back out onto the circuit. Very good job from Merc boys there, if you ask me. A bit tentative on the pit lane exit, probably lost some time, but it's fine. We're in the race, P6. Let's go get him. 13 seconds to Lando, 14 by the end of that lap, 13.5, 12.7, 11.8, 10.7, 9.4, 8.6, slowly coming down. I've missed out something on lap 34, which was a 3rd warning, which results in a 3-second penalty. At this point I didn't know that I had a 5-second penalty for speeding in the lane. So I thought this was my only penalty. I mean, it's fine, we have plenty of time. Well, we've got plenty of time to make up a gap to Charles, and at the moment, technically, we've already made a second on Charles. So, in the moment, we've got 5 seconds to Charles. Need a further 3. I believe we can get that. They won't be coming in for another plenty of laps as well. If you remember, the original race strategy, which is what they follow, was about lap 40 to pit for hards. So they'll be in about there. 6 laps on extra, on fresher tyres. I was gaining Lando about 7 tenths, 4.2 seconds. It'll be good. So, that's the penalty, and we're wheeled in a gap. 12.7 by the end of that lap, 11.9, 10.7, I've already said these, lap 39, something happened to Lando, and it was a spin, I believe. So I closed in, not enough to get DRS on this little straight, but enough to close in so that we will get DRS next time. So what happened to Lando? On board with him through turn 1. Wrong lap. Too much throttle. Massive spin. Almost did an unsafe rejoin. Still kind of unsafe if you ask me. And yeah, we're able to catch up to him. And you know what? Our Delta, we lost a second on this lap behind Lando to our personal best. You can kind of see me trying to get past him. And heading on to lap 40, I knew that I had to get past him, so I did. Round the outside, like we did with Charles, even before the corner, we're ahead, so it'll be fine. Tries to fight back. Doesn't back out. 4 attempts behind. Not as close as he was as Charles was. However, he was close enough to have a fight back. Down the outside of turn into turn 4. We're on the inside. Clean as you like. No forcing anyone off the circuit. And we're P5. So, it's looking good. 8 seconds to Carlos. Is that going to go down? Yes, it is. 7.8. They are still yet to pit. 7.4. And there we go. Alonso and Charles are in. We're up into P3. Lap 43. Carlos is in. Lap 44. Is the yellow flag for Valtteri Bottas. Pulls over to the side, beginning lap 43. Ferrari power unit blows him up. Not in a Ferrari car, so it won't affect our probability of retiring. So, at the moment it's staying the same. Not sure what that is at the moment. I should have a look though, and I'll probably put it on, hopefully will put it on screen. So, yellow flags, not able to close in on Max as much as we would have liked. 6.3 quickly becomes 6.7, 8, 9, 7 tenths. Anyway, we got 11 seconds to Charles, 2 extra than we were hoping, which is very nice. So we got just under 30 laps. Let's see what we can do. Max comes in lap 45, 44, and Charles is at 10.5. 10.7, 10.4, 10.8, 11.1, 11, 11, 11.2, 11.4, slightly going up, 11.5, 11.7, 11.6, 11.7, 11.6, 11.8, and we come to lap 60. Very overcast at the moment, and the forecasted rain for 60 to 90 minutes. It arrived smack bang on lap 60. I was told on lap 51 that it would be about 10 minutes of rain. That gave me to lap 59, and Mark told me rain will be here any minute, and it was here any minute. Lap 60 it starts raining. Lap 61 we get the radio message that DRS has been disabled, and I learnt from my mistake. I haven't learnt from one mistake. Missed out something. Lap 38. 4th track limit warning. Is there going to be another one? It is. Great. 2 that I've done here. 1 at turn 1 and 1 at turn 2. If I'm right. No. 2 here. 1 at turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1 at turn 2. Cool. Anyway, where are we at? 61. Rain. DRS is disabled. I was a little bit wary based on previous sprint about coming in. However, I got the immediate radio call to come in for inters. 12.3 to Charles, and I thought, sure, go ahead, straight away. Box this lap and set inters. Locking up everywhere. and I knew it was time to come in. And obviously this is when I found out that I got the 5-second penalty. Coming into the box, make sure we don't speed, lift off, make sure we don't crash. Into the box, no speeding, this time no penalty, and we're in the lane. Intermediates are on. After a 5-second penalty, do we get held? There's a bit of a poor release, and there's Charles. Unfortunately, no one there to hold him up. Not really anyway. And we're back into the race. Should be 7.3 ahead of Charles, but we're a little bit slow on entry and exit. So what is the gap? 7.3. Okay, I was right. But I am quite slow in these conditions, and by the end of the lap, that's 6.3. Don't forget, we only need a 3-second gap now, because we have pit and served that 5 seconds. So providing that it stays like this, 6.4, it's looking good. 7 laps to go, closed in 3/10, should be about 2.1. That will bring us to about 4.5. So let's go. However, 5.9, a little bit scary. 5.6, 5.3, 3/10 still. It's looking good still. Is it? 4 laps. Technically 5. 1.5. Yeah, a little bit on the bubble. 4.8, a massive 7/10. Because now it is getting heavier and heavier. 5, it's good. Stayed there. Setting back a little bit. 2 seconds in the final 3 laps. Can you do it? 4.2, 8/10. What is 8/10 going to do? That's going to take out a further 1.6 in these final 2 laps. What's that going to do? That is going to take us to 2.4. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. No, it can't. 2.6. Gonna miss out by 4/10. Funny that. 7/10 lost to yellow flags, which everyone should lose really, and a second loss behind Lando. Interesting. And a 5-second penalty from speeding. All of that could stop this. And lap 70, 3.1. He gained 1.1 seconds. We cannot lose to Charles on this lap. So we're going to go on board, make it a dramatic reveal. 2.8, 2.7. We're just losing time. And when it's a crossover between inters and wets, which it pretty much is, there's no stopping the AI. 2.6, 4/10. We're not going to be able to gain that back, you know. 2.8, we have just gained 2/10 back. 2.9, 3, okay, actually. 2.8, not good. 2.9, stay there, 3 seconds. 2.9, 2.8, we're pushing. 2.9, 3.1, 2.8, 2.8, 7. Come on, get back up. 2.8, 2.9, 2.8, 2.7, 2.6, 2.5, 2.4, 2.3, 2.2. That little wobble probably didn't help. He got so much better acceleration. We tried short shifting, made sure that we didn't get wheel spin, however, it didn't matter, it didn't work. And we got P2. Charles just managed to beat us. So we were only able to gain back 4 points from Max, which means a total this weekend we lost 1 point to Max. Is that going to make really much of a difference? Well, maybe. I've counted all the retirements from France to no, I think I might have already also done Austria, but I've done France, Hungary, Belgium, Netherlands, Italy. Still yet to do everything from Italy and before France, but in all of that, I believe there was only 3 retirements. Nope, I haven't got the file open. Okay, cool. Quickly gonna get it. Retirements from from France and Hungary. At the moment, there's only 3. That means I've got roughly 3 in 175 chance of retiring from any race, which roughly equates to about 1%, which through 25 events is 0.4. So expected 0.4 retirements, which is still good, as we still have 83 points. Would rather that be higher though. So anyway, we've got 1 race left. It's Abu Dhabi. Hasn't been the easiest races as of previous events. Last season we had to spin very early on. We were at the back, I believe, in one race, 59. I believe last season, I know I spun because I put it in the thumbnail. I think I was at the back of that. I was at the back of the grid in 59-1, and George beat us. So yeah, not had the best record as of late, but I'm sure it'll be fine, and I'm sure we'll go win. So I'll leave you. This has been longer than it should have been. It's probably about 40 minutes. Let me check. Let me turn on my phone if it wants to turn on. Oh, only 29. That's not bad. I'll see you in the race debrief once I stop recording. Where's X? There it is. Last but not least, we have the final clip.
7.0 seconds. They're on old mediums. Okay, their tyres are more than 30 laps old. We think they've got 1 more stop. Your last lap time was 1:13.9. This is great. We're gaining by around 9/10 a lap. Keep it up.
So yes, as we're on lap 44, the driver ahead, who I did miss their name, is yet to make a pit stop, and we're gonna come across the pit lane to overtake them as they've just come in. There we go, P1 now. However, listen for what Mark says. It's really funny.
Yes, great job. Excellent work. That's first place now, P1.
What? It was a pit lane overtake. It's not like I made an amazing overtake down the inside of a corner. It was a pit lane overtake. Welcome to the penultimate Monday morning review. This one is of the Brazilian Grand Prix. In attendance we have Bobbi Winter, the driver, his race engineer Mark Peasley, the team principal of the team. That don't sound right, I don't know why. Toto Wolff and Rosie Waite, the head of strategy. Without further ado, let's get into the race. The final sprint one of the season. Unfortunately, not quite the best weekend that we could have hoped for. However, we have got some learning points that we can take from this weekend. So the sprint result. Verstappen won it with Charles in P2 and Alonso in P3. Crucially, Sainz was 5th and we were... Sainz was 4th and we were 6th. Verstappen won the sprint, however we could stick with Verstappen in the dry. No other point. Technically the other point could be the fact that when everyone pit onto wets, Sainz and a couple others went 1 lap later. Before that 1 lap later, they were somewhere like 9th, maybe 8th, and they jumped all the way to 4th. Since we were 2nd, if we stayed out that extra lap, like Mark asked you to, we would definitely have been in the exact same situation, only we were in the lead. Now we did not have good pace, however we were able to stay ahead of the cars that were already behind us. Very reasonable to expect that we'd stay ahead of Verstappen. Yeah, it would make the race fun then. However, race result, Charles won with us in P2 and Verstappen P3. Charles won the race, however we took the faster lap and we had a great race. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate that Charles managed to win. Yes, it was down to penalties, two of which two penalties, only 2, and they both easily could have been avoided. The pit lane, speeding in the pit lane, could easily have been avoided, and then time penalty for track limits. Unfortunately, we didn't tell you about the track limit. We didn't tell you about either penalty until you served them. You kind of knew you already had a track limits one, I think. Actually, we told you about that one, or the wheel told you. Either way, you had 2 penalties, 8 seconds, and it ended up putting you just under a second behind him. Yeah, if we told you, would it have affected the outcome? I don't think so. However, you could find 7/10 anywhere in this circuit, especially over the course of half a race distance. So, if we told you, you could have pushed a little bit more to make sure that you stay ahead, especially since we knew there could be rain at the end, and how you did have very little pace in the rain. It was very lucky that we were able to stay so far ahead for about 5 laps. Unfortunately, after that, the 6 second gap decreased rapidly and decreased so much that it came to 2.3. And unfortunately, Charles won the race. However, from your side, you have said the race was fun. So if there's a takeaway, a silver lining, if you will, that's that. But it's not much. So how does it affect the Drivers' Championship? Well, we got the sprint result and then the actual championship result. So we'll go for the actual championship result. Bobbi, you're in P1, Hamilton P2, 3, and Verstappen in P2. We did not maximise points over Verstappen, and like I said last time, we do not need any more good points. So yeah, we did not maximise points over Verstappen. He won the sprint, whilst you were down in P6, so that was 5 points lost. And then in the race, technically the max we could get is 8, providing everyone has a good race, and so that would bring it back to 3. However, you lost a position to Charles, which took you back a couple of points, and Max gained a point over you instead of you being able to gain roughly 12 points, maybe, if everything went accordingly, because you could have won the sprint. That would have been 1 point over Max, and then in the race you would have won with him in 3rd with fastest lap for you. That would have been another 11 points. That would have been 12 points, but instead you lose 1 point to Max. I don't think it's too crucial, seeing as it is still 83 points. However, 83 points is teetering on the edge of being safe from 3 race retirements. Yes, I know it is unlikely that we get 3 or more, seeing as the expected value is still less than 1. But you can never be too safe. How does it affect the Constructors' Championship? Mercedes, we are P1, Red Bull are P2, Ferrari and P4. 3, sorry. Yeah, Red Bull almost scored more points than us. With Hamilton coming in home 8th in the race, scored 4 points, made sure that we got 3 points over Red Bull. I mean, we don't need it, we got 212 points over them. So, yeah, but if somehow we lose so many races that you retire, it's just nice that we keep getting points over Red Bull. We don't need to. We need to make sure that we capitalise on Red Bull's mistakes and make sure you finish ahead of Max. It doesn't matter about Checo and Hamilton. Not saying that they aren't important drivers, just saying the constructors is lesser of a risk than the drivers. So the sprint lap graph. 3 stints, 1 on the dries, 1 on the inters, 1 in the wets. Unfortunately, I forgot to mark up the safety car, purely because I did not write it down in my notes. The first stint was quite alright, steady incline until the wet period became overwhelming. Unfortunately, you did pit a lap earlier than what was ideal, so it kept you behind Max. And then safety car appeared, safety car went in, you came in the same lap as everyone else. Even though we did ask you to come in a lap later, you got held by Checo, you lost some positions, and then everyone that held out a lap later, 2 of them got ahead of you as well. So, yeah, a little bit unfortunate on when we pit, both times pitting 1 lap early. So yeah, we had no relative pace in the wets. We were finding into just the wet tyres just did not work for us. The wet tyres was nearly a flat line. It was good, however, and the dry tyres in the rain were good as well. We managed to stay with Max, and we did not lose much time to him before we inevitably. Actually, I think we lost a second and a half, maybe. Might actually be wrong on that one, but I don't think we lost too much time in the beginning phase of that race. So let's have a look at the race lap graph. Yes, data was not collected for the graph. Yeah, I forgot. I only took screenshots of the race results. My bad. I forgot to take screenshots of the championships and of the lap data. Hence why the other 2, the Drivers' Championship and Constructors' Championships, have both of them after the sprint and the race, and are done on Excel. So you can skip past that quite quickly and go on to Brazilian Grand Prix in 8 images. Bobbi, you sent in the image of you colliding with Magnussen during practice and overtaking Charles for the lead in the race. Mark, you sent in the image of Sainz just after the safety car as it was pulling in and the Q3 result. Toto, you sent in the sprint result and Q2 result. Rosie, you sent in the ending of the sprint race and the pit stop for the wet tyres during the race. So, a lot to unpack here. Let's see if we can do it quite quickly. Bobbi, your 2 images included a subtitle text of "You should never slow down on a racing line," and we've got 7 positions from P6 to P8 to P1 in 19 laps. So yeah, in practice, it was very stupid of you to stop immediately on the straight line, on the racing line, especially since Magnussen had just let you pass at the beginning of that straight. Yeah, he should have avoided you, but you shouldn't have been on the racing line. You had just finished your laps, and you did cause us to get some rear wing and diffuser damage. Not sure about his damage, but you don't want to be doing that too much. And yeah, 7 positions, P6, P8 to P1 in 19 laps. Could have been a bit quicker. Would that have given you a bigger gap? Yeah, definitely. Especially the couple of drivers that you had to have several attempts at overtaking. You did them first. If you did them first try, you would definitely have gotten a bigger gap to Charles. Would you have been would you have been a bit more laid back at the end of the race? Even maybe so, but we probably still would have had a bigger gap, and so we probably would have finished the race P1 still, even with the penalties. So yeah, just gotta make sure that next time you stay within the track limits and you slow down enough for the pit lane entry. Other than that, you had a good race. The sprint, less so. Right. I just threw something and it landed on my phone. That was bad. Okay, that's why I'm going to keep my hands in my pockets now. Sainz gained a load of points positions with the proposed strategy after the safety car strategy, and we got pole position for the sprint. So yeah, Sainz was P9, jumped all the way to P4. What makes this worse is Verstappen still managed to stay in the lead, and the only reason we went down behind Charles and Alonso was because we got held up by Perez, which is why we wanted you to pit the lap later. Yeah, you definitely would have got the lead had you pitted a lap later. Maybe. It's a bit debatable, but there would have been more chance, and you would have been higher up, definitely. However, pole position for the sprint, that was quite good as well. But it doesn't matter when you kind of throw away with strategy. Not saying it's all your fault, obviously, we agreed, let you do it. But we insist from now on, if we offer you a strategy, that you at least consider it. And we'll try to warn you of a better strategy much earlier than about 200 metres before the pit lane. So your two images then. The team finished P6 and P14 in the sprint, and Q2's P1 and P3 was looking promising. So yeah, the sprint result, the less said the better. We screwed both our drivers. However, both of you would have been less screwed if Bobbi, you would just pit a lap later, because you held up Lewis and you held up yourself. Would Lewis have got held up anyway? Yeah. Would he have got held up less? Yes, because he would have been able to go when you went, but instead you went, and so he had to wait an extra 3-4 seconds. And you could have gained a lot more. You could have gained more positions. So yeah, poor choice of strategy there, but that's the way that the cookie crumbles sometimes. We just didn't deal with it in the best way. The weather, we need to work on that. And we've got Abu Dhabi next, so we don't need to dwell on that. And you aren't staying with the team anymore. You're going off to Championship 89. So just little tips you should take with you for whichever team you go for. Rumors are it's a green one. Rosie, your two images, no relative wet pace and medium hard strategy worked well with the rain. Yes. 7 seconds we lost to Lando across 5, 6 laps. Almost a second a lap. Definitely weren't doing that under the inters or the dries. Slicks. Dries make it sound like it wasn't raining. Definitely weren't losing that under the slicks or inters. So we need to work out what's going on there. I do believe it is under acceleration. You're just not able to get the right traction. The simple solution, I believe, under the acceleration is to just plant the throttle more. However, you kind of tried that, and the car doesn't like it, and it wheel spins. Kind of evident when Lando came out of the pits, and he literally went, you undercut his rear wing, and the car just did not like that, and it tried throwing you off the racetrack. So yeah, we need to work out what went there, or what happened there, and then the pit stop, the second one in the race, it worked perfectly. To be honest, we only had to do one stop. We were 12 seconds clear of Charles. Should have been 13 to win the race. The 5 second stop go penalty for speeding in the pit lane did not help either. So yeah, I recommend in practice you go to the pit lanes and test which one, where you should be braking. Find your latest and then use that, because there's a lot of positions and points to be gained by braking at the right time. So that's my advice. And as long as no one else wants my advice, thank you for listening to the Monday morning review of the Brazilian Grand Prix. One more race to go. Let's push, make it a good one, and round out what's been a great season for both the team and the drivers. I know Lewis is not finishing P2, however he can still finish P3, and that'd be amazing. So if that can happen, that'd be great. And yeah, nothing else to say. So I'll see you all in Abu Dhabi. Normal me now. Yeah, Abu Dhabi final one. For Championship 89, F1 23. Definitely not doing this. This has taken too long. Not taking too long, but like, yeah, it's quite long, and it's not really worked for me. At least I tried it out for a season, but yeah, I don't really like it. You might, I don't. My channel, I'm doing what I want, as long as it's legal. So see you in Abu Dhabi. Final race, 4 episodes. Let's go do it. Bye.